In the world of high finance, silence is usually gold. But on the morning of Friday, February 5th, 2016, silence was the sound of catastrophe. Inside the sealed glass tower of the Bangladesh Bank in Dhaka, a printer on the 10th floor sat motionless. This wasn't just any printer. It was a dedicated Swift output terminal, the physical heartbeat of the nation's foreign reserves. Every time money moved, this machine would scream to life, printing a hard copy confirmation. But today, it was dead. Staff assumed a mechanical failure, a paper jam, a faulty driver. They were wrong. The silence wasn't a glitch, it was a blindfold. What the technicians didn't know was that they were already under siege. For 12 months, an elite hacking unit known as the Lazarus Group had been living inside their network. They weren't just watching, they were learning. They studied the bank's behavior, their shift changes, and most importantly, their SWIFT credentials, the digital keys to the Federal Reserve Vault in New York. They had been invisible, dormant, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. That moment was now. It was a Friday in Bangladesh, a weekend. And in New York, it was still Thursday night. The timing was calculated to perfection. At 8:36 p.m. New York time, the attack began. Not with guns, but with 35 specific lines of code. 35 separate transfer requests were beamed from Dhaka to the Federal Reserve. The requests looked authentic. The codes were correct. The encryption keys were valid. The Lazarus Group wasn't breaking in. They were using the front door key they'd stolen months ago. The total value of the requests, $951 million. Nearly $1 billion. Almost the entire foreign reserve of a sovereign nation, queued up for liquidation. The systems at the New York Fed are designed to process trillions. To them, these requests were just another drop in the bucket. The automated systems began to approve the transfers. 5 requests cleared immediately. $101 million was instantly stripped from the Bangladesh account. The money didn't move in a truck. It moved at the speed of light. It was beamed across the world, bypassing traditional checkpoints, headed for a destination that should have raised immediate red flags, the Philippines. The destination was 4 specific accounts at the RCBC Bank on Jupiter Street in Makati City. These accounts had been opened months earlier with just $500 each. They had sat dormant, gathering dust. Suddenly, they were flooded with millions. This was the wash cycle. The hackers knew that once the money hit these accounts, it had to be moved immediately. If it sat still, it could be frozen. Speed was their only defense. But then fate intervened. The hackers attempted to route $20 million to a non-profit entity in Sri Lanka. In their haste, or perhaps due to a simple lack of spell check, they made a mistake. They typed foundation as F-A-N-D-A-T-I-O-N. That single letter A triggered a manual review at a routing bank in Frankfurt, Deutsche Bank. The clerk paused. Foundation wasn't a word. Suspicious, they queried the Bangladesh bank. No answer. The hackers had disabled the printer. Remember? The silence that was supposed to protect the heist now backfired. The routing bank halted the transfer. The remaining $850 million was blocked, a billion-dollar robbery crippled by a typo. But $81 million had already escaped the net. It was in Manila, and it was burning a hole in the hackers' digital pockets. To make it untraceable, they needed to break the digital chain. They turned to the one place where money has no memory, the casinos, Solaire, Midas. The money was withdrawn, converted into physical cash, and delivered to junket operators. It was then exchanged for dead chips, chips that can't be cashed out until they are played. The hackers literally gambled the money clean. For days, millions of dollars were played across the baccarat tables. Win or lose, it didn't matter. The goal wasn't profit, it was obfuscation. Once the chips were turned back into cash, the digital trail evaporated. The money was now clean. It was loaded into bags and vanished into the humid Manila night. By the time the Bangladesh bank got their printer working and realized what had happened, the money was already a ghost. Who was behind it? The FBI and cybersecurity firms like FireEye began to dissect the malware. They found fingerprints, not human ones, but digital ones. The code used to disable the printer shared distinct DNA with the software used to hack Sony Pictures in 2014. It was the Lazarus Group. Intelligence agencies pointed to North Korea, a nation-state cut off from the global economy by sanctions, allegedly turning to cybercrime to fund its regime. This wasn't just a bank robbery, it was state-sponsored asymmetric warfare. The fallout was immediate and brutal. The governor of the Bangladesh bank resigned. Heads rolled at the RCBC Bank in the Philippines. The Federal Reserve faced scrutiny for approving the initial transfers. But the money? Of the 81 million stolen, only a fraction, about 15 million, was ever recovered. The rest, $66 million, remains missing to this day, likely funneled back into the isolated regime that ordered the strike. The Bangladesh bank heist changed everything. It shattered the illusion that the global financial system was secure. It proved that SWIFT, the backbone of international banking, could be tricked. Banks around the world scrambled to upgrade their defenses, instituting two-factor authentication, anomaly detection, and 24-hour monitoring. But the Lazarus Group didn't stop. They evolved. From banks to cryptocurrency exchanges, their targets shifted, but their methods remained: patience, silence, and code. In the end, the billion-dollar heist was a failure, saved by a typo. But it was also a warning, a proof of concept. The tools to rob a central bank are no longer dynamite and drills. They are keyboards and patience. As you watch this, your money is sitting in a digital vault somewhere. You trust the walls are thick. You trust the encryption is strong. But remember the lesson of February 2016. The thieves are already inside, and they are just waiting for the printer to jam.